everyone. My name is Dr. Sandra Colton-Medici, and I'm so excited to be with you today. We are talking about branded storytelling on live streams, and we're going to get right to the content today. So I'm not trying to take up all of your afternoon, or if you're watching this on a replay, feel free to put into the comments #replay. So I have some slides over here. I can't even do this today. I'll be looking this way to look at those slides, but I'm also going live on a few different channels. So if you are watching this on Twitter, YouTube, or LinkedIn, or even Facebook, you might even be catching me looking over here a few times to my TikTok channel as well. We're talking about branding your live stream storytelling. So some of the things that I wanted to start off talking about are live stream pros and cons. Okay, so definitely the one thing that I love about live streaming, which I'm doing right now, is that it is really live. It is really live. And if people wanted to comment in real time, we would be able to talk to each other in the chat, or depending on your live stream, if people were able to join you in the live stream. So that is a really great pro. It is also kind of a con too, if you're thinking about being nervous during a live stream. Okay, so if you've ever been in an interview for a job, it kind of feels like that when you are going through a live stream production, in that you knew what you were going to say when you went in, and then the camera goes on or your live stream starts, and you just lose it, right? You just go blank, and it's all about filling the time, right? So you had a plan when you went in, and suddenly, poof, be gone, right? So thinking about the cons of that, it really is about practice. If you are going to go into any live stream event, storytelling is going to be your foundation, because you can always go back to stories that you know and have prepared, but you also don't want to start sounding like a broken record. So when people start to get into your account and they start, watching you over and over, they're going to want to know new and different things, either about you, about your products and services, or about whatever the event is that you're covering at the time. So pro and con is that it is live, and there not really going to be a lot of do-overs, right? So thinking about that moving forward, just be prepared with things that you want to have planned going into your live stream, and things that you have as backup, just in case things don't go as planned. Like I just started this intro, I didn't point over here, I pointed over here. So just be prepared to kind of go with the flow, because if you are in the moment, people recognize that things are going to happen. So if you just kind of go with it and make the most of your time doing your live streams, it's going to be more beneficial for you. So having said that, getting into these slides, some of the things that I want to talk about have really specific to do with branding your business on a live stream. And when I talk about that, it really goes into story arcs. Now, that really goes into knowing how to tell a good story, right? And you've all heard of great stories. We have all witnessed them in movies and TV and film, and there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to tell a great story. So when you think about it, think about the different kinds of films that you've watched. Think about your particular, I would say, expertise in maybe even Disney being one of those things that you have seen over and over about potentially seeing rags to riches as a storyline arc, right? Potentially seeing some that are riches to rags, right? There are so many different types of story arcs, but you want to make sure that you're able to talk about your products and services in a way that relates to your audience. So if they are used to seeing some storylines that are more along the lines of taking something that you knew didn't work, right? And maybe your car broke down, right? And so you're kind of going through that rags to riches kind of a scenario where, or even maybe the man in the hole, which is another storyline arc where it's kind of like the fall to the rise, right? You have a product that's going to fix that, right? So you kind of tell the story of why you created a product, and you tell the rise of coming out of that, right? So you can either go rags to riches, riches to rags, Icarus, which is one that I think a lot of people remember as far as making sure that there is a rise, then a fall in fortune, right? And so thinking about if you're doing sort of a story about, your personal wealth. That could be coming into something that maybe you talk about when you're talking about your personal journey, right? Another is Oedipus or Oedipus, depending on where you live. And that is a fall and then a rise and then a fall again, right? And then the last that I wanted to mention is the Cinderella story that we all know, which is the rise and the fall and the rise again. But we all know that one, particularly from Disney movies. But you want to be able to talk about these things in a way that makes sense to your viewer, right? So when you're talking about your live streams and being able to brand them, think about the story arcs that you already know, right? Think about the ones that you know and have watched on TV and film and really, really work. And the reason I say they really work is because people wouldn't use them if they don't work, right? You wouldn't see those arcs over and over and over again in books and film and TV if they weren't working. So think about what kind of stories that you're going to tell and how you're going to tell them in a way that keeps the viewer interested. Right. So you want to keep the viewer interested in a way that makes your story so irresistible, right? Irresistible that people cannot get enough of it while they're watching your live stream. Now, some of the other things that I want to talk about when you're in your live stream is story through music and or patterns, right? Repetition is what I'm always preaching when I'm talking about live streams. So when you first get on, you can say, my name is Dr. Sandra Colton. My name is Dr. Sandra Colton-Medici. I'm the founder and CEO of College of Style. And you kind of want to keep saying that over and over and over, right? You want to continuously reiterate who you are, what you do, and what you're on the live stream to do, right? Is it to just talk about your products? Is it to talk about what's coming up? Is it an announcement? Is it a celebration? Are you doing a giveaway? Whatever it is that you are talking about. The other part of that is you can do that through music as well. Let's say you're not even wanting to talk on your live stream. Maybe you just want to have text on screen and you want to have movement in the back. So you can tell stories that are branded stories, meaning the vibe and the mood of your brand through music. Right? So there's a lot of artists that you might see out there who don't want to tell the story like, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm going to tell you the story about how I wrote this song. No, they want to tell you the story by singing the song, right? And or dancing the dance. And so you can also tell your branded story through music or through patterns. And when I say patterns, it means that you're giving people a rhythm, sort of a rhythm of your speaking cadence, right? And so people get to know you through your rhythm, through your speaking cadence. And I think a lot of people know certain orators like Barack Obama, or even, Martin Luther King, or Malcolm X, whoever it might be, as far as giving really big speeches, that you know more about their cadence by how they deliver their speech, and the emphasis that they're putting on certain words while they are talking. Now, similarly, when people create music, they're putting more emphasis on certain rhythmic patterns, or the drumming emphasis on certain beats, and pulling back on certain areas of the music so that you feel something while people are talking, or that you're watching certain dynamic moves while people are dancing. So there's so many things about it that are really important. And it's really good when you can get into a rhythm that people are really interested in hearing more about what you're talking about, or see what you are doing on screen. Because a lot of people do not like to talk on camera. You might want to add music to have a segue into something else. It almost reminds you of being in sort of a production mode when you're thinking about your live stream, is like, how can we transition from one to the next without losing viewers? Right? And keep that pattern so that people know, oh, okay, she did this, now she did this, she's probably going to go back to this, right? And being able to do that, being able to brand your cadence, your pattern, your storytelling, so that people know, oh, that's definitely her, right? I do that a lot of times when I'm watching commercials. I'll be in the kitchen and I'm washing dishes and I hear something and I'm like, that's that actress, isn't it? Right? That is a brand recognition moment, right? And so you want to have brand identifiers, and those are some that you can do, is through story, through music, and actual patterns of speaking. Another one that I wanted to talk about, which I just mentioned, which is commercial breaks, but also collaborations. So when you think about collaborating with different brands and affiliate promos and commercial breaks, some of those can be within your live streams, right? Because you may have a sponsored live stream. It might be an event where it's maybe a convention and certain keynote speaking event parts of the convention are actually sponsored by particular brands. And so you can have in your live streams collaborations that make sense for your brand, right? That collaborations that make sense for both brands to come together on, and commercial breaks that take people through maybe a visualization of something or an infographic of something else, or a commercial that's like a standard TV spot, but has a sort of branded element to it, right? So that you don't completely break away from what you're doing in your live stream to just like, hey, we're going to go to commercial now, but somehow there's some sort of collaboration in there. And that if you are an affiliate of that specific, brand that came in to do a commercial, well, then you have some sort of element in your program or somewhere so that it makes sense that there's a tie-in, right? You wouldn't want to bring in anybody into your live stream that doesn't make very much sense as to how they belong inside of the live stream, right? So you want to make sure that makes perfect sense, if you will, that it's a perfect fit for everything that you're doing. Okay. So if you have certain collaborations, commercial breaks, or even affiliate promos that you're putting into your live streams, make sure that they make sense so that it's not taking away from your live stream to go promote someone else, but that it's a value add for the viewer to say, okay, well, I am, promoting my XYZ product, but if you had this, it would be a great companion to our XYZ product, right? The next one that I wanted to talk about is behind the scenes stories for your products and services. When you're thinking about those story arcs that I talked about earlier, it's really important to have the behind the scenes process be in the forefront when you're in a live stream, because I think they call it dead air when there's kind of like a moment on radio where there's nothing happening. So you want to make sure that you're filling the space, because when there is silence, people scroll. That should be trademarked or copywritten or something. When there is silence, people will scroll. When there is nothing happening, no movement, people think it's over, right? Not everybody is waiting around to give you a standing ovation or some sort of applause at the end. People will move forward, right? They will move on with their day. And so you want to make sure that as you are doing your behind the scenes stories, that you develop some sort of plan for your live stream so that you don't have some sort of pause or some sort of really lengthy time frame to give people a reason to go away, right? So making sure that you have your behind the scenes stories about your products and your services within your live streams. And that could be you telling the story. It could be a visualization of the story, meaning you could put together behind the scenes video with a voiceover or something like that. But making sure that those stories are heavily branded with your logo, your voice, your products and services being shown on screen. That's really important during your live stream. If you are doing live stream shopping and you are selling things on your live stream, it is really important that you are actually showing the product. If it is a service, you need to be able to demonstrate how the service works, right? And if it's something that is a design-based service or something that's a consultation, sometimes that's hard to show, right? But it is good to know that there are ways to do this, right? Think about all the technology that people are making out there, whether it's from computers to wearable tech to software that people use. There are ways that people are showing how the product works, even if it's something that's really difficult to kind of understand with a simple, really quick thing. They are putting together demonstrations of like a before and after, right? Or some way for you to understand how it can get you to the next point in your life, in your business, by utilizing whatever the software might be or whatever the instrument might be. It might not be where you can say, hey, this is a bottle, a water bottle, and this is how you open the cap, right? You may have to have a little bit more complexity to the demonstration of a software product. But if you can find a way where you can keep the viewer interested to basically hear the bells and whistles, like time saving and cost effective and things like that, and intuitive learning, or whatever it is that are your bells and whistles of your product. Then people will stick around to go, oh, I need to see more. I need the demo, right? Or let me try it for the 30-day trial period to get them in. So you want to make sure that you're not just, if you have a product that's hard to demonstrate, you're not just saying, oh, here's a picture of it. You want to show how it works, right? It's easier to show apparel, footwear, things like that, because hey, it fits like this, or it moves like this. But you want to be able to show, if it's technology, you want to show how people's lives are improved, right? You want to see the before and the after. If it's some sort of design program, you want to be able to give people an option to say, wow, I could use that and I could get this much out of it, right? So be aware that those behind the scenes stories must be branded with outcomes, right? You need to see outcomes of how things are going to work. So I'm just going to recap and go back through these slides really quickly and just reiterate, I can't even talk today, reiterate that live streams have pros and cons. There are no real do-overs, right? You can continue to do live streams and get better and better and better, but you need to be in the moment, right? You need to be in the moment and make sure that you are going with the flow. If you have something pre-planned and something happens outside, like right now I can hear gardeners outside, you keep going, right? The show must go on. The next is story arcs, and making sure that you have some sort of rehearsed aspect of your story so that you don't forget really important things. And that might be not that you're telling your brand story, but you might be telling a story that relates to your brand and the inspiration behind that. So you don't want to leave out certain things. Like, you want to know the real keys to how to tell a good story and how to keep people interested in that story. And the other is story through music and patterns, because it's not just about telling it with your words. It might be a visual storytelling. It might be an audio storytelling. And so those are really important to think about, that you don't just have to have one person on screen or two people talking on screen to be able to tell a story. You can tell it in so many other ways, so many visualizations of stories that are almost really great as taking a live stream and being able to break it up, right? Here's the host and she's talking, and then here's a visualized story, and here's a product introduction, and here let's go back to Q&A, and then let's do a behind the scenes product demonstration that we've already filmed, and let's show you that, right? So being able to break up some things with different stories, but also patterns, so that people know, okay, we're going to break it up so that people aren't constantly looking at one person, right? All right, the next one was collaborations, commercial breaks, and affiliate promos, making sure that they all make sense with each other and going through them so that you're not just, hey, now we're going to showcase this product. It's like, hey, we thought that you would benefit from having this product as a companion to what what we're selling here today on our live stream. Or this is a keynote speaker sponsored by XYZ brand, and this makes sense together because this is the topic they're talking about, and this is the software that they sell that helps people accomplish the topic that they're talking about. So making sure that every single piece of your live stream makes sense with each other, instead of it just being like, hey, I'm gonna talk about sports cars, but my sponsor has nothing to do with sports or cars, right? So that has to make sense. And then the last one that I was talking about was behind the scenes stories, products and services, showcasing what you do and who you serve and how you can make people's lives better or their businesses improved and make an impact. That's really important. And make it about them. Don't always make it about you, right? You want to brand your live streams with your products and services, but there's a reason why you created them. right? And there's a reason why you help serve the people that you serve. So make those stories about them. You can tell testimonial stories. You can tell behind the scenes of how you've helped certain people get to wherever it is that they're going. You can tell, you can do before and after of who you've helped and how it looks now. You don't have to just tell your story. You can tell your brand's story through the people that you have served and their stories. So just know that that is really, really important as you go through your live stream branded storytelling, especially if you're doing it for live shopping. Live shopping, you must be repetitive. You must say the price points, the benefits, the features, the before and afters. You must show the products, right? You must tell people how to buy it, right? Over and over and over again, where to get it, the website, the price points, the discount codes, whatever it might be during your live stream shopping, it has to be in there. But it has to be done not in a buy my product, but in a storytelling fashion so that people are feeling like they're there with you. And they are feeling that experience of feeling good about a purchase, right? I never, like when I buy things, I'm always like, yes, that was a good purchase, right? And when you feel good about a purchase, that makes so much difference in how you're going to then talk about it with other people, how you're going to refer other people to that particular business, right? So making sure that you're doing all of that is really important. I also want to put up how you can contact me if you have any questions either about this particular live stream, about branded storytelling on live stream shopping, or if you want to talk about branding for your business. Definitely put in the chat right here and say #replay and which one of these you're going to be using in your live stream shopping events or even just live streams in general. But you can also contact me here at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or TikTok. You can find our shop at shopcollegeofstyle.com. And you can also join our community at www.collegeofstylecommunity.com. When you have a chance, make sure that you do because our community is free to join. But you can also find a ton of different courses, templates, and apparel and decor on our shop. And I definitely would love to work with you one-on-one as well. So feel free to let me know if you'd like to work with me on your business and your branding and your strategic messaging. That would be great. I'm also starting a 6-week group coaching program. I can't talk today, like I said. And that is starting on May 1st. It's called Styled to the Nines. And you can go into, I'll put it on the first comment of this live stream, but you can go into collegeofstyle.link/nines, and that's NINES, to get on our VIP waiting list to sign up for the group coaching program where we are going to go for 6 weeks. It's $300. It's our beta group coaching program, and it will be going over up-leveling your business design for social media and also strategic messaging for social media as well. So I look forward to having you in my group coaching program very, very soon. I think that's in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so, that we are going to open that registration on May 1st. And then the program starts on the week of June 1st. So right after the Memorial Day holiday, we will get right into things. And so I look forward to seeing you there. I will put up on the screen the contact information again. If you have any questions, give me an email, shout at Sandra@collegeofstyle.com. Have a really great rest of your week.